Are you messing with the microphone again?
Yes, Joan. We've had some minor issues behind the scenes.
Really?
But I think we're going to be okay. I have not broken the microphone. By the way.
Yet. Go on.
I'd like to thank everyone for their, congratulatory messages on me from yesterday's show when I didn't break a damn thing. Nobody said, hey, well done, Mandis. Anyway, whatever. Hello, Joan.
Hello, Dan.
Are we ready for Ice-mageddon and Snowmageddon and, all that kind of stuff? Sam is here as well.
Yeah.
Good morning, Sam. So, by the way, 1949. Good morning, y'all, from UDP, truck 623. Hello.
Hi,
all
guys.
Right. So, I wonder if the UPS guys, do they got UPS and UDP, whatever, do they have to go out onto the roads on Monday?
Well, they don't make allowances really for them not to go out on the road. I mean, the packages still flow into the UPS center regardless of whether or not they get delivered. So
what is the latest? I know that we got some words from Stefano DiPietro there, but what are you doing, Sam? Sam has, okay, so for people listening on the radio.
Oh, my gosh.
Sam has put on, is that like a skiing outfit?
Pretty much.
Okay, so if you're watching on Super Talk TV, you see what Sam is doing. If you're listening on the radio, Sam has put on big ski goggles and a big ski cap and a whole mask. You know what? If I didn't know any better, I think you were like Antifa.
Oh, yeah.
He's dressed up like Antifa.
Well, but I have actual, I have a green hat. My ski goggles have some color to them. I got a nice patterning on my mask.
This is what Ice needs to do. Can you imagine, Joan, the triggering if Ice showed up like that?
Yeah.
Oh, I would love that.
Can you turn around and show me, Sam? Oh, yeah. Okay. They'd be fashionable.
Approach Justin Jones with that outfit. See how he handles it.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
White supremacist.
Freak out.
All right, so real quick, and how are we doing, Joan, on the forecast? What has changed?
What's changed,
if anything,
is the arrival time. So now Stefano is telling us that it's more like tomorrow morning that it arrives. So tonight's you're out of the woods for tonight. Things will get rocking and rolling tomorrow morning. But it's still the same scenario. So more snow north of I-40, more freezing rain, mixed precipitation south of I-40. And that's for the chance of like that changeover to rain for a brief period on Sunday morning occurs. But right after that happens, the temps drop again. So that's where that freezing thing comes in and the icing. So it's still going to be a pretty dangerous event, it sounds like.
So I don't need this till tomorrow is what you're saying.
Yeah, that might be a little bit of
Probably.
overkill for this morning, Sam.
Yeah.
It's okay, though. Do you know what I love about Sam, though, Joan, just real quickly, and then
He's playful?
is that he puts this, he doesn't even warn me what he's going to do.
Right.
So I'm just like sitting here talking, trying to introduce the show, and I look across the glass, and suddenly Antifa is running my board.
I told Joan yesterday.
You told Joan that's what you were going to do?
I had to tip her off to make sure she maybe pulled the stream up so she could see, but I'm like, I'm going to get Dan in the morning.
That's very funny, actually. Well done, Sam.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about? Power outages like north where I live. And the reason I'm asking is not because it's all about me, although it is, my name on the marquee right under Joan Jones.
Right. Yeah.
That's where my name is on the marquee. So, but how are we looking as far as north of I-40 power outages? And the reason I ask is because it's going to be a game time decision as to whether or not I actually stay at the hotel. So that's my concern is wherever I go, wherever I need to be there, it sounds like on Saturday morning or Saturday, like maybe midday.
Yeah, I think Saturday midday. So you'll spend Saturday night, Sunday night, perhaps Monday night.
Tuesday night, probably. Yeah. It's going to.
Monday and Tuesday night, the low is going to absolutely blast what's on the ground. It's going to be 1 degree Monday and -2 to -4 on Tuesday.
So how are we looking as far as power outages for like north of I-40?
So they're saying, like TVA is saying, hey, listen, we've made some upgrades since that there were rolling blackouts in 2022. So they're saying that they've made some upgrades and they don't expect the rolling blackouts, but there is certainly a chance that all that freezing rain will bring down power lines, will bring down trees onto power lines. So, I think it's a safe bet that you should be at the hotel. And I hate to tell you that.
Yeah, I hate to hear that.
Yeah.
Amy and I had the big conversation last night.
Yeah.
And she, you know what she basically said? She basically said, I know how you get when you can't be on the air when you're supposed to be on the air, so please go to the hotel. I wasn't quite sure how to take that because, with Amy, and, obviously I love her very much, but it almost sounded like she wanted me to go to the hotel.
Yeah.
Like she didn't want to be cooped up with me for like days on end where I know that I'm supposed to be doing a job and I'm not able to physically do it.
Yeah.
And I don't want, and the other thing is, I don't want to let down the listeners, and I don't want to have a, best of tape rolling on Monday morning. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then if Sam can't get in, because Sam is saying that he's going to try to drive in. So, but if Sam can't get in, then I think we got a board op over there at the hotel, and he can turn the buttons on. Sam is more of a producer. And so I know how to turn the microphone on, and I know how to turn on my audio, and that's it. So I know enough to just get on the radio and just start talking.
Yeah.
So, but Sam seems to think, Joan, that he's going to be able to drive in on Monday morning.
Crazy. Sam, are you listening to me?
Yeah.
I am the mother of the show, in case you hadn't noticed. Mm-hmm. And I'm insisting that you go sleep on the sofa in the program director's office, or
I don't think that's a good idea.
No,
I don't think it's a good idea. No,
I think
not in his.
I think it would be kind of funny if the PD shows up in the morning and you're sitting there in like your underwear and undershirt. Morning, boss.
I sleep in my birthday suit.
Wow. Okay, that's exactly what I didn't need to hear this morning.
It's the only way I can be lulled into a nice sleep.
You've just lulled me into nausea.
I'll put my mask and goggles back on.
Anyway, so so we're trying to decide. I know that I'm going to be here ready to do a show. So that's what I'm going to be able to do. 4702. I thought this was the Joan Jones show featuring Dan Mandis. It basically is. So bottom line is we still don't really know a lot, but it does sound like the possibility of power outages north of I-40 has gone down a little bit because a lot of the ice is going to be south of I-40, and Stefano will fill in all the, all the...
I'm going to I should let him do more of that. But that's how it sounds to me. Like it'll be more snow north, and it isn't it always that way? More snow to the north.
Yeah. I usually what happens, like I've done these broadcasts. I can't tell you how many times. Still snowing.
Yeah.
Still snowing.
Yeah.
And then you're like, want people to call in and tell you what their experiences are. Get that human to human connection.
Yeah.
Sam might want to have the cricket sound effects ready because I'll say, hey, tell me what you're experiencing. How are the roads? And, what's going on in your neck of the woods? 615-737-9986.
Yeah.
And nobody calls. And then I wonder, why God's green earth did I spend all this time and money hanging out at the hotel when clearly people are bundled up at home and not listening to the radio? Yet I'm insistent on being here.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about me, Joan. Why do I do this to myself?
It's a disease that happens to people in radio.
It is.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Joan knows.
Yeah. I'm not going nuts.
Nope. Exactly not. Let's see here. Okay, we got to do traffic. 5:15, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99. By the way, so here's what the show is going to be like today. You ready?
Ready.
So we're just going to, bounce between regular content and snow and weather forecasts and ice forecasts and all that kind of stuff. So there's just, most of my content is going to be, it's going to be there, but it's going to be like truncated, if you know what I mean? Because I just got a lot to cover.
That's a big word to use on a Friday morning.
Truncated?
Yeah.
Why don't you try to use the word truncated, Joan, in one of your newscasts?
In a newscast?
Why don't you try? That's going to be my challenge to you.
Game on. I'm going to do it.
Are you going to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. You do that. You know what I know? I know what you're not going to use it as in reference to? Anything Donald Trump is saying today, because he's not speaking truncated at all.
Oh, no.
He spent 28 minutes speaking to the press on Air Force One coming back from Davos. By the way, we do have a video for most of the audio that I'm going to be playing today. So if you want to check us out, you can on YouTube, Facebook, 997WTN.com, and so forth. If you want to see the radio show in action, you certainly can. Are we still doing that whole skipping thing that's been going on the last few days?
Yes.
Yep.
Because I've been told that I was told 3 days ago it was fixed. Anyway, this is Donald Trump. He's coming back from Davos. And I think most people are saying that it was a success. Davos was a success. Although, as usual, it's falling along party lines. If you are a Donald Trump supporter, then you believe that Davos was a success. If you are, not a fan of Donald Trump, you think the whole thing was a complete disaster. Whatever. This is Donald Trump. He's talking here about Iran, which has sort of fallen out of the headlines. But, he says, no, we're watching Iran.
We have a lot of ships going that direction, just in case. We have a big flotilla going in that direction, and we'll see what happens. We have a big force going toward Iran.
Aren't they there yet, Joan and Sam? Like,
you would think they would be.
These massive ships have to have been there by now. I mean, it's been how long? At least a week since we had the story of our ships going towards Iran. And, I mean, I think the unrest is pretty much gone now. I mean, the government, we had that horrific story where the leadership there in Iran said that they killed, it was well over, I don't have the story in front of me. Wasn't it like 15, 14, 16,000 people, 18,000 people that were killed during the protests? And you had, 300,000 people injured. You've got all these people that were arrested as well. So there's those protesters in Iran and those protests in Iran. I think there's a lot of people that do feel, and there's a part of me that understands this feeling. There's a lot of people that feel like Trump let them down, let the protesters down, because he said help is on the way, and the help simply never came. And so Trump's sort of get out of dealing with Iran free card was, well, they stopped the executions. Well, they killed almost 20,000 people. So I think Trump's going to have to deal with this one way or another.
I'd rather not see anything happen, but we're watching them very closely. I saw 837 hangings on Thursday. They would have been dead. Every one of them would have been hung. This is like from 1,000 years ago. This is an ancient culture. Very smart people, by the way, but it's an ancient culture. 837, mostly young men, were going to be hung on Thursday. And I said, if you hang those people, you're going to be hit harder than you've ever been hit.
You know what's interesting is that, and I'm just spitballing here because this just came down the pike, but Donald Trump calls Iran an ancient culture. It wasn't an ancient culture before, what was it, in 79? It wasn't an ancient culture in 1978. What has turned Iran into an ancient culture is the radical Muslims who are running Iran. The Islamic Republic, those are the ones that have made Iran an ancient culture, if you will. So, no, it's not the people of Iran that has made Iran this ancient culture that Donald Trump is talking about. No, it is radical Islamic terrorism. It is the Islamic Republic there in Iran that are killing people, literally killing people. Whether or not they are officially hanging them, it seems to me, whether or not they're officially hanging people is beside the point. I mean, they killed thousands of people who were protesting. So I get Trump's in a tough spot. I totally get it. And it was Israel and some of our Middle East partners and our allies in the Middle East. Maybe some of them are frenemies, but they came over to Trump and they got with Trump officials and they said, if you do this to Iran, if you try to take out Iran's leadership, well, then it's going to lead to a power vacuum, and then it could end up in total, complete disarray. And it is a very tough spot to be in.
Yeah, and the parallels between that revolution in 79 and the leftist of today, that they don't know what they are demanding when it comes to the totalitarianism that comes with it. Prior to that revolution, they were one of the largest purchasers of Levi's and Wrangler jeans.
Yeah, you look at Joan, you and I talked about it, how the women pre-1979, they looked really westernized.
Yes. Oh, and besides that, the people of Iran are beautiful. The women are gorgeous women with the
I'm glad you
skin
said it.
and dark hair and dark eyes. They're just gorgeous women.
Well, you and I talked about it. I think it was on the air about how there's this whole thing on social media where the women are taking off their hijabs and their face coverings,
yes,
and unmasking, these. I mean, I don't want to sound sexist, but I guess this is objectifying, but the most beautiful young women.
They are. They're gorgeous.
Yeah, and it's like, it's obviously incredibly sad all the way around. And those very same women, not allowed to go to school, not allowed to vote. They have to be subservient to the men. It is a whole thing. They basically believe in Iran this, whole bass-backwards notion that the men basically own the women. It is horrifying.
Right. They're chattel.
Joan, what does brining mean?
What does brining mean?
6789. What is brine? That's putting down the salt on the road.
That's what you should do to a turkey before you cook it.
Oh, there's that. But the brine is the liquid that goes down on the roadways. It looks like lines on the road that the brine melts the ice.
Sam, of course, goes down the road of a turkey.
Of course.
You know what? Put your Antifa outfit back on. Totally kidding. All right. It is.
All you have to do is tell him. There you go.
Oh, and he's now for people watching on YouTube TV and listening on the radio, Sam has now put on a turkey hat.
Perfect.
Courtesy of Jackson.
Is that Jackson's hat?
Yes.
Okay, very good. You'll never guess, Joan, and we'll talk about it here after the news at 5:30. You know who was in Antioch this week talking to high school students?
Yeah.
Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah. But for why?
I got a whole thing on it, Joan. So we're going to talk about Colin flipping Kaepernick, and here's my question. Here's where I'm going to go. So do you really think that Colin Kaepernick, during a time where you have all of these people taking to the streets across the country, trying to defend murderers and rapists and child molesters and all this, these illegal aliens, and people are calling for the defunding of ICE and the attacking of ICE and everything. I wonder how unifying Colin Kaepernick's message was to the kids over there at Antioch High School. Now, we'll apparently never know because the high school is not answering questions as to what exactly it was that Colin Kaepernick spoke about to the children. So we're going to talk about that. And then I'm going to go into what Colin Kaepernick should have said to the kids, but I darn right well know that he didn't. So just so you folks know, we are planning on being live. Nashville's Morning News on Monday. Joan will be from home. I'll be here via the hotel. Sam is somehow planning to drive in on Monday. We'll have to see what happens with Sam, but I believe we have, at the very least, I will be able to turn the microphone on and my audio on. And do you know what's going to be fun, Joan, is not playing any commercials.
Oh.
Because if I'm in here and there's nobody over there.
Uh-huh. You can't play any commercials.
I can't play any commercials.
It's wall-to-wall Dan.
Oh.
Hold on. I have a question.
Yeah.
What happens if you have to, go to the men's room?
You know what? If
elevator music.
If politicians can filibuster for hours at a time.
Oh, you're going to wear diapers.
I'll figure something out.
You'll fill a 2
Diaper Dan.
No.
It's
Wow.
Diaper Dan in the morning.
Oh,
WTN.
By the way, people, so.
You like that, huh?
I do, because Dapper
What
Dan.
in the world? WTN?
Well, I was getting my drawl on.
You sure were.
Yeah.
She's lived in
Boy.
Coffee County too long.
Yeah.
All right, real quick. People are talking about me, talking about Trump, talking about Iran being an ancient culture. people, I know that Iran and the entire Middle East is the ancientest of cultures. I understand that. I was talking about how in modern day, the Iranian government, the Islamic Republic, is hanging mass amounts of people and executing massive amounts of people and all. That's what I meant. And how this wasn't happening before 1979. Then the Islamic Republic takes over, and then Iran itself, as a way of life, went way ancient because of all of the mass execution. That's what I meant. Because Iran before 1979, and I already said this, but before 1979, Iran was one of the maybe the most westernized country in the Middle East. That's what I meant. I obviously understand that Iran goes back, one of the oldest cultures, if you will, in the Middle East and in the world. So, whatever. All right. Why in the world was Colin Kaepernick chosen to speak to kids at Antioch High School here in Middle Tennessee? Now, can I just say that the last person that I would ever want speaking to my children would be Colin Kaepernick. I'm just telling you. So here's what I'm trying to figure out. Number one, how much money was spent bringing in Colin Kaepernick to speak to the kids in Antioch High School? Now, for people who don't know, Colin Kaepernick, he kneeled for the national anthem. Interesting it is that the district, at least I can't find anything, the district won't really talk about the topics that he discussed with the students. He also spoke with school administrators. And so, these kinds of things, they're planned way ahead of time. So I don't know if there were any media outlets that were there that were alerted that he was going to be there, but Tennessee Star tried to get, some intel on what it was that he spoke to the kids about, and nobody's talking. So there is no record of things discussed, it would appear. But let me tell you something. When somebody like Colin Kaepernick is brought in, they don't appear for free. Now, there is a possibility that he donated his time, but they've got to put him up in a hotel. They've got to fly him out here. And I guarantee you, with Colin Kaepernick, he's flying first class all the way. He's staying first class all the way if he had to stay overnight and so forth. So I don't know. Why is the school district spending this money? He's visited high schools in Atlanta, San Francisco, other cities around the country. And by the way, he also has a new AI program that he is pimping. But, it's kind of funny. I don't know about you, Sam. I don't know about you, Joan. But when I was in school, I remember this distinctly. When I was a kid in school, they brought in doctors and firefighters and cops to talk about us. Paramedics. I remember a paramedic coming in. I remember a politician coming in, as a matter of fact. Now you bring in people, apparently if you're, metro schools, you bring in people who have said the most awful things about our country and see the world only through the prism of racism. That's who Antioch High School and metro schools decided to bring in to speak to the kids of Antioch High School, a year after that shooting took place? Do you remember when he likened the NFL to slavery? That was a rich one. That was part of his Netflix documentary. He has also called for defunding the police. He's called for abolishing prisons, because they're rooted in white supremacy, as we all collectively eye roll. So this is how leftist, progressive, Metro Nashville schools cultivates the next generation of activists.
Yeah, while being raised by, I think, his white grandparents, if I'm not mistaken. So all this white supremacy is what allowed him to have a good education, go play football in college, make it to the NFL. So, oh, my God, the terribleness of the racism. So I checked it, by the way, on the speaker fee. Now, I backed myself up. He typically charges $50,000 to $100,000, and that includes travel requirements and what the event type is. But then I was like, okay, does he charge high schools?
Yeah.
He does not typically. So it doesn't outright no.
Yeah. Well, he did donate his time. I think it was in, I don't know, some other city. He did donate his time, and kudos to him for doing that. Do you know what's funny? Do you know who pays Colin Kaepernick to come speak at their functions? Basically, companies that are run by a bunch of white people.
Of course.
Right, Joan? It's all that white guilt. Hey, let's bring in, Colin Kaepernick to talk about how racist we all are. I mean, who does this? It's so I've never understood this. But I don't understand why there's no record of what was discussed. He also, by the way, met with school administrators. Colin Kaepernick did. I wonder if he talked about the courage, by the way, of executive principal Nikisha Burnett. Chris Hand talked about this, who is accused of running away from the Antioch Highschool shooting in the cafeteria, according to that lawsuit. The lawsuit was filed by former assistant principal Dr. Kelly Latham, who was first on the scene and saw the shooter turn the gun on himself. She handled the evacuation and the aftermath while the principal apparently was nowhere to be found. The lawsuit alleges a similar situation occurred on May 8th of 2024 when Burnett received an alert about a gun on campus during a meeting with assistant principals. And according to this lawsuit, according to the filing, Burnett, the principal who was accused of running away, gasped at an alert on her phone, handed it to Latham, who ran toward the scene with another assistant principal while Burnett remained in the conference room. The threat was later found to be only a water gun. The next day, the lawsuit claims Burnett held a staff meeting where she falsely claimed that she had responded by running to the incident, demonstrating concern for her image rather than the decisive action expected of an executive principal. So they talked to our friend J.C. Bowman. This is from the Tennessean. This is a salacious lawsuit. This is something that really makes a big allegation, and it is. There's other things, but eventually this assistant principal who made this accusation, she was eventually basically forced out after filing PTSD claims and such. And so now this former assistant principal is now suing. Oh, look, Joan, another lawsuit involving metro schools. I wonder how much she'll get.
Isn't Antioch where that teacher was assaulted as well?
With the pepper spray?
Yeah, it was pepper sprayed.
I think so.
And that girl, it was like the second time she'd lashed out at a teacher like that.
Yes.
My goodness.
Yes.
Let's bring Colin Kaepernick in, guys. That'll fix everything.
Well, that's the thing. You know that he's talking divisive. You know he's talking divisive. You know he's probably talking about defunding the police. And, you look up, what does Colin Kaepernick talk about to high school kids? And I think it was the second point where he brings up, all the social justice stuff. So I just think, you know what? Here's my question. Because clearly I'm not a big Colin Kaepernick fan. I've been talking about this guy for years, as we all have. And you know what my question would be? So did Colin Kaepernick actually tell these kids anything constructive? Or was it all, simply this nonsense about, social justice and all this crap?
To that point, I understand when people who have a criminal history or maybe have been disparaged by law enforcement or the court system at some point in their life feel that way. He's never been arrested. He's never been charged with anything in his life. Who is he to say that the police are racist and hateful? He's never been in their crosshairs before.
No, and here's the other thing. I mean, from what I understand, and I'm no sports expert, but from what I understand, Colin Kaepernick was already on his way out from the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
So you want to talk about a dude making the most out of, being a social justice warrior. He knew, my opinion, he knew that his NFL career was done. So then he decided, oh, you know what? I'm going to choose this time now to kneel for the national anthem. I need some video here. But here's my question. Do you think, Joan, that he actually spoke to these kids about in Antioch High School about how to make a living? I guarantee you
Wait,
he
how
didn't.
does Colin Kaepernick make a living now?
Oh, he's a social justice warrior,
Professional grifter.
a professional
That's just
grifter.
it. Like, what is he going to tell them? Become a professional grifter? Like,
Yeah.
no.
Well, they might, because remember what I said. He more than likely told these kids how to be an activist, stand up for what you believe in, become an activist, talk about defunding the police and all that kind of stuff. Meantime, Mike Rowe. I want to go from, in my opinion, somebody who makes not a hill of beans of difference, in my opinion, Colin Kaepernick, to Mike Rowe, who actually makes a big difference in society. So he put out a video, really interesting, actually. He's playing the video of an interview conducted at the World Economic Forum in Davos between Larry Fink, CEO of BlackRock, and Jensen Huang of NVIDIA, who discussed the rapidly expanding need for trade and technical workers. This is Mike Rowe, part of this video that he put out.
And it's wonderful that the jobs are related to tradecraft. We're going to have plumbers and electricians and construction and steel workers and network technicians and people who install and fit out the equipment, and all of these jobs. We're going to, in the United States, we're seeing quite a significant boom in this area. Salaries have gone up, nearly doubled. Yeah. And so we're talking about six-figure salaries for people who are building chip factories or computer factories or AI factories. And we have a great shortage in that. And I'm really delighted to see so many people in so many countries really recognizing this important area.
Yeah. So that is part of the video that Mike Rowe is about to comment on. We've all been talking about this for years now. It's like revenge of the blue-collar workers, right? So as white-collar workers are sadly being phased out by AI in some areas, it's being built by the very same people that some in society have looked down upon. Now, sadly and incredibly, here's the crazy thing. We do have this massive shortage of workers at a time when we need them. So that's where Mike Rowe comes in. President Trump, of course, he has said many times that we need to bring in some workers from other countries to get these facilities built. And we've talked about that. I do understand what the president has been saying. But Mike Rowe has even said we have a shortage of these kinds of workers to build these massive facilities. So Mike Rowe, who in my opinion should be the one going to speak to the kids at, Antioch High School as opposed to Colin Kaepernick, said this.
I'm delighted too. The question is, what are we going to do about it? Here's an idea. This year, my foundation got 10 times the applications for trade school scholarships than we got last year. 10 times. People are getting the memo. They're just not quite sure what to do about it. I think we ought to convene, maybe not in Switzerland, maybe somewhere stateside, and talk about rethinking the way we train the next generation for these jobs. But we are in violent agreement on this. It's a massive undertaking. We're going to need hundreds of thousands of skilled workers that we currently don't have. The stakes seem awfully high. And for what it's worth, gentlemen, I'm at your disposal if I can be of use.
He does the whole call me thing, makes his fingers into a phone. He says, call me.
Can I just say, growing up, watching him on TV was one of the greatest joys. You would think, man, dirty jobs. Some of these things are just, he made it fun, interesting, and understood, as a kid, understood the value in our plumbers and the people that do the even more advanced work. It was awesome.
So who do you think has the more appropriate message for a group of high school kids in Antioch High School?
It's obviously Mike Rowe.
Mike Rowe, as opposed to Colin flippin' Kaepernick.
And he's got a smooth, buttery voice, too. It helps.
We need crane operators, plumbers, electricians, HVAC tech, welders, auto mechanics, diesel mechanics, and so forth. I was talking to a guy the other day, fascinating conversation. And he spent 10 years he's maybe mid-30s. He spent 10 years doing white-collar work. He had a degree in accounting. He's now going back to school, believe it or not, to do HVAC work because he's been downsized twice as an accountant. And he's like, you know what? Screw this. I'm going to go become an HVAC tech. And he's going to make really good money once he graduates from the HVAC school. And so, obviously here in Tennessee, we have the Tennessee Promise. And the bottom line with the Tennessee Promise ultimately was, go learn a trade. If you live here, the state pays for it. And I don't mind that. And I loved it when it started. And it's hard to believe that it's been 10, 11 years since it started in 2015. Listen to this stat, just real quick. Since then, since Tennessee Promise started, we're talking about 53,000 students have completed the programs, which are mainly trade and technical programs. And I love that because that means that when companies are talking about moving to the state of Tennessee, we have the labor. We have the workforce. And by the way, more stats for you. A lot of those who graduate utilizing the Tennessee Promise, they stay here in Tennessee. They get jobs here and they contribute to Tennessee's success. So I love that. Hopefully, if you've got a kid that, got to sit there and listen to the wisdom of one Colin Kaepernick, show your kid the video of Mike Rowe or a video of Mike Rowe talking about the importance of the trades. Get some actual wisdom from Mike Rowe as opposed to the complete BS and nonsense that Colin Kaepernick has been spewing for years.